Okay, we are live. All right. Wait for some people to come on. And all right. Okay, I'm just waiting for some people to come on before I get started. I know this is really late. Okay. Get ready to get started. Okay, hello everyone. How's everybody doing? I know this is an extremely late live. It's about 11:20 Central Time, so that make it 12:20 Eastern Time. Hey Corey, how's it going? How are you doing? Good to see you. Um, yeah, I don't know how many people are going to join in tonight. It's kind of late, but as many can, I'll sure enjoy it. Um, okay, as you guys know, I'm on a trip. I'm in a hotel right now. I'm in Kansas City. Okay, I've me and my son we've traveled quite a ways. We started in Riley, North Carolina, and we went through all of North Carolina. Yeah, I am tired. All through North Carolina, went through Tennessee, stayed in Knoxville last night. Then we got up, drove through Tennessee, up through Kentucky, then up through Illinois, then down through St. Louis, all the way across Missouri, and now we're in Kansas City. Hey, Lisa, how's it going? Get some sleep. Yeah, right. I don't know. It's hard for me on vacation, and we've been delayed all this whole trip. I didn't even take pictures or see sights. We just been trying to get to my daughter's house and stuff, and we just came in. So we're going to go see my oldest daughter tomorrow and my granddaughter. So we're going to have a good time. Um, but I really did get a good night's sleep last night. So I did sleep well, but we've been on the road all dang day, and all the way from Knoxville to Kansas City. So quite a drive. And I think we this whole trip we traveled 5 states: North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, and Missouri. And then we're going to stay a couple days here. I'm going to visit with my oldest daughter, and then me and my son will be on our way on the 10th, coming back home. And but tonight I want to talk about interracial couples. I want to talk about power couples. Okay, and this is my opinion, and I believe it to be so true that black women, white men are the power couples. They really are. And in our communities, we're expected to make things happen. We're expected to put things on our shoulders. Okay. Speaking from the white community, us as men, we're supposed to lead the community. We're supposed to take care of our women and children. And if we're not successful, if we ain't got nothing going, we really don't deserve to have a wife or a family. And that's and I believe that to be true. I mean, before you can start a family, you do have to have something going. You have to have a job. You got to have it together, because you're going not just take care of yourself, but your wife, kids, and so on. Okay. And I've been conditioned all my life in my family that I have to provide. And you know and women in our community won't even look at you unless you got something going on you know and from what I'm hearing and from what I've been told from my wife and other black women is that black women are expected to kind of shoulder the load also. Certain things that are expected of them. And It just seems like we kind of go together in that way, that we're putting in the work, we're making things happen. And, society, when it comes to interracial dating and marriage, would like to keep us apart. It seems like right now, from my observation in today's day and time, that we're the group that's sort of say attacked the most, the ones that are discouraged the most from dating out. And we are the least likely to date out, black women, white men. We really are. But when we come together, when we fall in love, we actually make things happen and we become a power couple. And I think because we're so vetted and we're so cautious, and especially black women, all the stories you hear about white men, when you go through all that and then you're shamed for it, you're put through the ringer, and if you still care for that man, you're all in. And same thing with white men. When we date, marry out, we're all in. And I'm not going to say all of us, because there are some idiots, but for the most part, when we fall in love, and a lot of us are in love with black women, we are. Um, and there are more than the numbers would show. And a lot of times we're just so cautious in it. We just kind of hold back. Or we sometimes try to be just so careful, maybe a little too careful, And I think sometimes it creates confusion because we're not as forward as black men. We don't just go in. And a lot of times it's because we're being cautious. It's because we're in the unknown. And, a lot of times, it's a stigma to date outside your race, even in today's world, even though it's accepted. Um, Sometimes we don't even think about opening up our options. My camera's kind of, or I guess it's the glare. We don't even think about the options we have with other racial groups. Okay. A lot of times, most of the people in our community look like us, and we grow up with those people and we get married, and, but as time goes by, we're getting to know each other. We're opening up our options. And for me, my preference has always been black women. I always thought they were beautiful. I always thought there's something special about them. Even growing up as a little kid, I thought that black women were awesome. And maybe because of the ones I was around, has a positive outlook. I seen the positive side. And growing up, I've seen the positive outlook. I haven't seen the stereotype that you see on TV that Hollywood portrays black women being loud and crazy. Um, I haven't really seen that. I think I've seen maybe one or two people that could fit that, but mostly for black women, the ones I've dealt with, the ones I've been around, been friends with, and dated have been either traditional or professional. And that's what I see in black women. And I think that shows the truth about black women and being in their community and what they go through and what they're conditioned to do. They're making things happen. Education, corporate America, moving up the ladder, and we're seeing it. And the numbers are playing out and telling us that. Now, there would be people that would fight that and say, well, it's because of this, that, or this is going on. And yeah, they might be the most educated, but look at the degrees they have. I've heard it all. But black women are leading the way when it comes to that. They're moving up the ladder with the less resources. I might add that also. But I think interracial couples, black women and white men, we're expected to shoulder the load and make things happen. And I think that's why when we get together, when we fall in love, we make things happen. And when there's true love, there ain't nothing stopping us from accomplishing anything. And when I married my wife, I believed we could accomplish anything, and I still do. And our marriage has lasted several years. over 27. May will be 28. And I'm not the only one. I know friends that have been married interracially to Black women and have lasted. Now, not all of us last, of course, but statistically, if you look at the numbers, our marriages last more than everybody else, statistically. Okay. And that's because we vet each other. That's why we go in it strategically. Black women that open up their options and date out, they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it to, open their options, you know, to move up, practice hypergamy, to find the man that celebrates them, that lifts them up. And white men, we're doing the same thing, and I've talked about the investor, and I classify investor is the white man, and don't have to necessarily mean a white man, non-black man that has a preference for Black women, that invests his life in the Black woman. That's an investor. That's true investment. And that's what I've done. I've put all my energy, all my heart, my love, my everything into the Black woman. And that's why I'm married to a Black woman, and I invested. And to me, I would tell men the best investment you can make is to get a good wife. You get a good wife, everything falls in place. A good wife, you're going to be successful with other things because you're going to be able to do your part as a man, and she's going to have your back. Well, the family, J10, I don't know. My family's kind of funny, my wife will come on, but my kids, they're kind of reluctant. And with the trolls and stuff, they don't want their, and I don't want to really show them. I don't know, maybe in the future I'll make an appearance, but and the crazy things they've seen online, how trolls have come after me, they don't want their image out there, and I really don't. I'd love to show my family and have them on YouTube and stuff, but they're just not comfortable for that right now. But maybe in the future. But you will see my wife Valentine's Day. Me and Sandy are going to do a guest appearance, and we'll have fun with that. But maybe in the future. It just the jobs my kids have and stuff. I don't know. I think they're afraid of being linked to what I talk about, and it's not bad what I talk about, but some people get triggered and they might twist it to where I'm against somebody or something, and and they've seen some of the stuff that trolls have put in my account and stuff, and so they're kind of cautious and serious, with doxing going on out there and stuff. People have researched me. There's people that already know how much I make, what I do for a living, all that stuff. Yeah, it's public knowledge. People could find it out, how long I've been married and stuff. And nobody's came on a video to debunk anything I say because they can't, because it's the truth, But anyway, enough of that. But maybe in the future I'll have them on. Maybe sometime, but they're reluctant, and I'm not really pushing the issue right now. I did do videos of my, pictures of me, my wife, and kids when they were little, but they're grown adults now. My youngest is 20 years old. But yeah, I'd love to show you my family and stuff, and it's just precaution right now. But anyway, back to the subject. I do believe white men, Black women are the power couples. And you're seeing it through the marriage rates and how long we're lasting. And like I said, not all of us are going to work out. Not any group, everybody works out. You're going to have some failed marriages. And, the swirling gone wrong groups out there that try to debunk it and show the failed marriage where the man, assaults the woman or treats her bad or something goes wrong, and they focus on that one incident and try to link it to all of us, which we all know that's not true. um but I promote interracial relationships. You can have good people in any color of people. You got good and bad. But black women and white men, we're working because we put in the work. We do in our communities, and we do when we date and marry. We do it for, we do it for a reason. We're strategic. And what I mean by that is black women, when they date out, they're cautious when it comes to a white man or even men of other races. I know my wife was. She vetted me harder than any other man. In fact, she even said she apologized to me for doing that. I'm like, you don't need to apologize. But all the stuff, society says about us, and all the propaganda and all the stereotypes and the generalizations that society says, you hear it enough, you start to believe it. Even if you don't know it, you do. It's just a thing. And hello, Loren. Good to see you. And a lot of times we believe what we hear when we hear it over and over. And we got to get away from that and just learn about the person. Find out what they're like. You might be surprised. That man or woman of a different racial group might be awesome. You might fall in love. And, black women and white men, when we fall in love, we go all in. And our marriages last. They do. And it's been proven statistically. Um, you know, but there's people that fight that. And I think that we have such a blessing that we're stepping into, that we got something special to where we could come together and really make things happen. And it's been showing. Now, our group together is the smallest group to interracially date and marry, or one of the smallest. So we're not seeing all the success yet, but we're seeing quite a bit just from what we have. And it's increased. Gosh, I mean, interracial dating, our marriage from 1960s has went across the board from 3% to 15%. And white people, 9% are marrying out. And you got to take, in consideration, that's Hispanics, that's Asians, and I think white men right now, the most women they're marrying out is Asian women and Hispanic women. But I think Asian women's the most common. They marry in America, they marry more Asian women marry more white men than their Asian counterparts. And that's what's trending right now. And then black and white, we're increasing every day. We're still the smallest group, but we're, the ones that are targeted the most, you might say. And especially black women. I mean, people really go in on black women hard when they interracially date or marry. And some of them even told me, yeah, I interracially date and, want to interracially marry, but I don't tell people. I just keep it on the down low and do my thing. And, to me, you shouldn't have to keep anything a secret. If that's what you love and that's what you want, you shouldn't have to hide it. You shouldn't have to be shamed for it. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And, but, on my last video, the points I was trying to make when I was talking about interracial or biracial children and stuff and how they turned out, that when our marriages and our relationships are stronger than others, of course, we're going to have more of a success. And that's not saying one group's better than the other. And I try to make that clear because people take it the wrong way and say, "Oh, you say you're better than us, and this group's better." No, no, no. I'm saying the better choices you make, the more success you have, and that dynamic's working good. Black women, white men, and through the children are becoming. They're showing statistics where they're more successful. Now, I haven't dug deep into those numbers, but it's showing. You know, and if your marriage lasts longer, your kids have a better shot. It just is what it is. It's logic. If you have two parents at home taking care of you opposed to one, you're going to turn out statistically. Okay. I've seen a bunch of people that come from single parent families that do awesome. You know, that's not saying it, just the ones that come from the married family have a head start in life. They have a little bit more options. They have stability at home. That's all I'm saying. Now, the ones that overcome that don't have that, they're really special because they're, pulling themselves up with no help. And that's amazing. And there are people doing that. Um, but, we are the power couple. Black women, white men, we got something special. And we shouldn't be ashamed of it. We should embrace it. We should come together. And there are so many white men that love black women. And when we get that love back, it's like there's nothing stopping us. That's how I felt when I asked my wife to marry me and she said yes. I felt like there's nothing I couldn't do. My marriage is the best day of my life. I look back and I'm like, wow, that was so awesome. And that's a day I'll never forget. I'll never forget the day I got married. I'll never forget, all three of my kids when they were born, watching our family grow. And then, the grandkids coming and watching the family expand. And that is something special. That is something that comes from God. And like I said, I think black women and white men, there's a lot of us that are meant to be together. And it's a blessing. And I think there's so much hate because there's evil in this world. There's the devil in the world that will try to destroy it. Anything that is good, anything that's a blessing. And nobody should be shamed for whoever they want to date or marry. In fact, we should encourage it. You find someone that loves you, we should be happy for you, all of us, regardless of the racial outlook. And it seems like the dumbest thing to look at two people and not see the character, not see if they love each other, not see if they're good for each other, but see one's black and one's white and it's got to be bad. What is that? Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And that's where, and the swirling gone wrong crowd that you see out there putting on these videos. Isn't it funny that, it's a Brad and Keisha combination that they really dig into? It's never a Tyrone and Becky, is it? I haven't seen one. Maybe they're out there. I mean, they shouldn't be attacking any one of those groups. Because people have the right to make their own choice, their own decision, the freedom to be with whoever they want to be. If black women want to be with a white guy, an Asian guy, or whatever, and vice versa, every individual has the right to make that choice and shouldn't be shamed or, targeted for their decision. But unfortunately, people are targeted. Even though it's legal, even though, things have gotten better with interracial relationships, there's still haters out. There's still people that want to destroy that. There's still people that want to attack us for it. And like I said, we're the power couple. We're into something special. And and I said this before and I'll say it again. Us as white men, when we fall in love with a black woman, we're not going back. We're not jumping back and forth. Guy might start out dating multiple women, but once we feel true love from a black woman, we're not going back. At least I don't know any that have. You know, there's always an exception, but I haven't seen it. And I'm being honest. And white men that are with black women tell me the same thing. Um, and from my experience, that's the way it is. And from what I felt and what I've seen, I never wanted to be with no other woman. Never, exclusively black women. That's my life. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, it's the truth. It's honesty. It's true love. Um, and people try to debunk that and say, no, you just have lust for those type of women, or you just have a desire. Okay, I've been married over 27 years. Tell me how lust and desire and fetishizations and all that garbage that you want to put on me, tell me how that lasts 27 years. Tell me. Because that type of stuff does not last. And if it was about that, I would have been going to other women in between. And no, what I felt was more deeper than desire, more deeper than the outside appearance. And when I say you feel that love, it's not just the physical part. Of course, that's good, but it's internal. It's getting to know someone, truly loving them with the inside and out, loving their heart, their soul, wanting to be a part of them every day, wanting to be next to them. And I tell you, I'm on my trip with my son, and it's great. We're having a good time. And I'm going to be visiting my oldest daughter and my granddaughter, and it's going to be a blast. But I tell you, I desire to be with my wife. I desire to just come home, wrap up in a blanket with her and just watch TV, just hang out with her, just be next to her. I'm missing that already. And I haven't been gone but a few days, but, but I love my wife, and, I want to be with her. I want every bit of love there is, the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, all of it. Because one part of love don't equal love. You need everything. You can have the physical part, but that's not love. That's a part of love. You need it all. And when we come together with true love, there's nothing stopping us. And the stats are proving it. And right now, we're not seeing things in real time. We're seeing it in a delay. But once it works itself out, just wait till the stats come out. It's going to get even better. Hey, by the book, Deanna, Thelma, good to see you. Carolyn, how are you doing? Loren, it's good to see you. Michael Ray, good to see you. Corey, good to see you, brother. J10, always good to see you. I went through your state, J10. I didn't get the chance to see a lot of it. Knoxville looks very nice. I just briefly went through Nashville, just going through it. But I would like to see more of it. And the questions, you guys, I put out that I was thinking about moving closer to my brother, and he lives he lives outside of Atlanta in one of the suburbs out there, and I wanted to move to a different state but be close by. I'm kind of leaning towards Charlotte area. I like it out in Charlotte. Charlotte's nice. My brother used to live Charlotte, and that's not too far from Atlanta. So kind of looking at that. Florida, I don't know. It's warm and stuff, but hurricanes and stuff. Tennessee, I haven't really seen much of it. I mean, it seems nice. Tax reasons would be awesome. But I'm kind of looking in the South area. But I want to be in a place where me and my wife are accepted in our special marriage and stuff. I know times have gotten better. I know that, interracial marriages are accepted more and more. But I want to be in a friendly environment, you might say. I think Charlotte fits that. Um, I just I just kind of cling into Charlotte. Me and my wife like it out there because when we used to always come out and see my brother out there, we had a blast. You know, uh, yeah, everybody's doing good. Um, Me and my son are at the hotel right now. We're just kicking back, um, and we're going to go see my daughter tomorrow, and we're going to have a good time. And but anyway, it's great doing a live with you guys. I wanted to show you some videos and stuff, and it just been we've been this trip has just been crazy. We were late leaving North Carolina because my son, when he left Fort Bragg, it took him a little longer to get signed out, and then he picked me up in Riley, Durham, and then we got on the road late. We made it to Chattanooga, or not Chattanooga, Knoxville. We made it to Knoxville the first day, and we were exhausted. And then we got, we left late today again, and we made it to Kansas City, but we're tired. We got here real late and stuff. Um, but we're having a blast though, and having a good time. But like I said, back to the subject. You know, we are the power couple, black women, white men. We are, um, and our stats are showing it. And if you look around, you can see it. Just look at the image. When you see couples out there, don't it look like they're happy? Don't it look like things are awesome? Don't it? I mean, you just see that. It's like a beautiful thing. Like, man, this is neat. Even people that aren't in interracial relationships will tell you, hey, that it looks like they're happy. It looks like they love each other. It looks like, and we don't know for sure because we can't read their minds. We don't live with these people, but it just appears that things are just going great. And if you look at the stats, you know, statistically, you know, doing really well. And I think that shocks people when they look at, black women, white men, and how their marriages are lasting longer, how, they're being successful and stuff. And like I said, I don't think it's hard to understand. I don't think there's no rocket science in it. I think that they're just cautious on how they do things, and they do it strategic. They do it for a reason. It's not like, hey, I think you're fine, let's get together. It's nothing like that. It's like, how can we have a relationship together? And I know when I approached black women in the past before I was married, it was like the ones that were interested, they were kind of wanting to know what I had to offer. It seemed like, do you care about me? Are you into this? Or is this just a thing? Or, you know, um, how to not be so nervous on a date with a guy. Um, I don't know. Is that a question? How to not be so nervous on a date with a guy? Um, well, when you're on a date, you're going to be nervous. I just think you got to get to know the guy before you go on the date. You got to vet. Um, of course you're going to be nervous. Every time I've been on a date, I was nervous. There wasn't one time I wasn't nervous. Um, through time, your confidence improves. You get more confident. But you're still nervous. You're still. I know I was. I always am. Um, when dating a white man, you should bring up the racial difference early on. I think that's a good idea. Some people say you shouldn't talk about it, but yeah, you should. I mean, because you're entering an interracial relationship. And some people say you shouldn't bring it up. Well, I mean, it's obvious. You got to know what they think about it. Are they okay with? Are they comfortable? Does it bother them that other people might not like your relationship? Can they take criticism? Can they take family members not liking it? Or, can they take being in a situation where someone might say racial slurs to you guys? Um, it don't happen a lot, but it does happen. Are you strong enough to take that? Can you take societal pressures, family pressures, so-called friends that don't like it, don't agree with it? Yeah, you're right, J. Tim. Bring it up early on because you need to. And the power couple, yeah, we are the power couple. If you look at my wife Sandy, we are the power couple. You look at other couples, black women, white men, those are power couples. And that's why their stats are doing so well. And like I said, not everybody makes it. Some fail, some don't work. But you know what I've noticed? I noticed that white men that get with black women and get in a marriage or relationship that don't work, they don't go back. They find another black woman to be in a relationship. I've seen that. And that seems like a common thing. I've never seen them jump back, even if the relationship was horrible. And that's what I've seen. And why is that? I can tell you what it is. But some groups they'll get with another group and say, okay, this ain't working. I'm going back. Now when it's a black women, it's like we're all in. From the experience I got, from the people I know, from my observation. I'm sure there's an exception somewhere. I haven't found it. And guys, you can tell me, have you seen it? Or is what I'm saying just craziness, just spouting out? No, it's true. I've experienced it. I've seen that. Uh yeah, thanks, Thelma. Thanks for yeah, if you have a question, yeah, put it in caps that way I see it. Okay, I always feel like the guy is not. Well, Caroline's dreams, he might not seem like he's nervous, but us guys get nervous. And especially if we, you know, maybe some of us hide it better, but we're all nervous, you know. I mean, some guys, look cool and calm but everybody's a little nervous because they don't want to be a failure. They want to, they've asked you on the date, they want to have a relationship, they want it to expand, they want they don't want it to end in failure. They don't want to get rejected. So there's that nervousness there. You know, I believe there's Facebook groups called Black Women and White Men. I think there's groups out there too. I've heard about it. I haven't seen them though. I haven't really looked into that. Uh, might look into that. But make sure they're a safe group. Yeah. Um, but I've heard there are. It's funny since I done YouTube. I hardly go on Facebook. I don't go on it much at all. I mean, there'll be months I don't even look at it, or I'll go on and I'll go on there and see, because my daughter, gets on there and stuff, and my kids, I'll see what they're doing. But other than that, since I started YouTube, I haven't even looked at Facebook. It's not even exciting anymore. It just, but yeah, I was asked the group first because I know, okay. But guys, we are the power couple. We are. And look at the stats. The stats bear it. And like I said, it's I believe it's much better than even what it's showing. Like I said, we live in a delay right now. We're not seeing things in real time. We really ain't. And go Blackhawks. Yeah, that's my Blackhawk jersey. I figure since I'm in Kansas City, it's close to Chicago, I guess. I went through Illinois. Does that count? Oh, I should have worn my Nashville Predators jersey. I went through Tennessee. Uh, Me neither. Maybe that's something we could start the channel, our Patreon. I haven't even thought about Patreon. I've heard Patreon, and I guess that's where you can go in and say things more freely, I guess. I haven't. What is Patreon exactly? I know it's like you get special groups and they go into your channel, I guess. And you could go, I guess they're not as strict as YouTube. I don't know. Because I've heard people say, you know, come into the Patreon and we'll discuss this where we really can't in YouTube, or, it's a special group. Yeah. LOL. I just got on Clubhouse and had no idea. Yeah, I haven't even looked in the Clubhouse. I've heard stuff about that. Um, is it just like some chat room you get into and people talk? White men are raised tamed. Okay. But honestly, I think we're the power couple because look at, from what I've heard from black women and white men, that it's like we're raised kind of expected to make things happen, expected to do certain things. Um, expected to bring things to the table, you know. And when I hear talk about people bringing things to the table, my opinion on that is there's three things that women need to bring to the table. That's love, loyalty, and just be your beautiful self. That's it. Men, what we got to bring is we're providers. We got to work, we got to provide, we got to, you know, put our wife and kids first, sacrifice for our wives and kids. That's what we have to bring. And in a relationship, there's no such thing as 50-50. It's got to be 100-100. And we do what we're supposed to do, you know. Because you bring 50-50, you get less than 50. I believe that. Uh, yes, Patreon is where you can say things privately without being triggered. But yeah, I've heard that. Um, but I haven't really looked into that. I'm just focused on YouTube, and some things I get. I've been blocked on certain things. There's been a couple videos where it's been blocked. Um, Usually I don't get blocked. I'm not super controversial, or well, some people think I'm controversial. Why? Because I have a preference. I guess that's the controversy. 100 or nothing. Yes, because if you're in a marriage, why am I going to bring half? Why am I going to say, okay, how crazy would that sound if I asked Sandy to marry me and I said, Sandy, will you marry me? But I need you to bring half the rent, and I'll pay the light bill, but you pay the phone bill, and well, that just makes no sense. Or please lower your standards, because and that's crazy to me when I hear people telling women to date or marry down. Why would you lower your standards? I mean, seriously. Why wouldn't you want someone that's equal to you? And women should have a man that's either equal or making more than them. Women should be practicing hypergamy. It shouldn't be the other way around. The man should be the one that moves up, you know. And usually in society, we're pretty much, in our economic level, we really are. Um, we can date interracially, marry interracially, but usually we're in our same economic group. I know me and my wife, we come from working class blue collar families. We come from a traditional family. We had both had moms and dads that are married, and but economically we were on the same level. Um, so it makes sense. It'd be, women can date up. I mean, you can get a woman from inner city and marry some guy that's got lots of money, and it works because the man's supposed to be the provider. But the other way around, it usually don't work. Um, not saying always, but usually it works better when the man's the provider, when the man's doing the work, when the man's, because naturally us as men are supposed to be providers naturally, and if you're not providing, really, you don't feel like a man. I don't. If my wife's doing all the work, I don't feel right. You know, and there's been a couple times that in my life where my wife made more than me, and I felt like dirt. I felt like, and it's not that I'm trying to outdo her. It's just that I don't feel I'm providing when that happens. So I've always strived to be better than I can be. You know, because I want to be the provider. I feel better as a man to be in the provider. I feel better putting in the work, making things happen. I just feel better providing. And I think women embrace that when you're working hard, when you're doing stuff, when you're taking care of things. And it shows you love them. It really does, you know. And you know, and that's how we should feel, I think, as men, that if we're not providing, we don't feel good. I mean, I've always been providing, but there was times she made more, and I thought, "Oh my God, I got to put in more work." And you know, and my wife's successful too, so it's not like I wasn't working because I've always been working. It's just that she's so successful that pushes me to be even more successful, and in turn, that's actually a good thing. And I think that's where that power couple comes from. Love coming in all colors. Yes, it does. It does come in all colors. Love does. But you can get garbage in all colors too. So just be careful. Um, you know, but, and that's what we need to do is vet and, find out how that person is. Don't listen to the propaganda. Don't listen to people that don't know what they're talking about, because they'll stare you the wrong way. They want you to believe what they want to believe. And they might even be jealous because you know, you're with a good woman or good man and they don't have that. So they might not want to see you have that either. It's just that I've seen so many men say girls should pay and go, yeah, that is so wrong. I hate when they say that because if the man's a real man, he shouldn't even be looking for the woman to pay nothing. I know there's situations where both the husband and wife work, and sometimes it's economical, and But it really shouldn't be that way. No man should ask a woman to provide 50-50. That to me is weak. That to me is saying, you know what? I'm not going to give you all of me. You're going to have to give me something back. And I think if it's true love, when I asked my wife to marry her, I wasn't thinking how much money she's bringing. I wasn't thinking what she's going to pay. I wasn't thinking about what she's going to do for me. I just wanted her to be my wife. Period. That's it. And some way I'll make it happen. And that needs to be our mindset, you know. And it's true. And I always say that you don't do 50-50, you do 100. Men, you got to provide 100%. That's what you should strive for. That's what you should do. And women, you're bringing your 100%. That's supporting your husband, having his back, and appreciate him when he works hard and does stuff like that for you. It goes back and forth, and that's how we both bring our 100%. Now we both have different roles. If the man's the provider, he has to provide. You know, it's pimp culture. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, that's the problem. Because too many young men are aspiring to be pimps and players instead of husbands and fathers. That's where the problem is. We're not teaching young men to be men. We're teaching them to be players. We're teaching them to be with multiple women. We're telling them that's the thing to do. We're not teaching them to marry the women they love and to be good fathers. What about if a woman acts like she's trying to pay when the bill comes? Well, if she acts like she's trying to pay, if you're a man, you say, "No, I got this. I'm supposed to provide." But we're not taught that these days. We're not taught that men are supposed to be provided. We're taught that we come 50-50. In fact, in some cases, we're telling women they need to date down, marry down, and then bring 50-50, which makes no sense to me. And nobody should date now. And I don't look at it as a man marrying a woman that's at a lower economic standard is marrying down. He's not marrying down. He's the provider anyway. So that don't even matter. But a woman that has more than the man, she is dating down, she is marrying down, and she should not do that. I don't think she should. I think we need to go to what God wants, the man to be the provider, the woman, to be loving, nurturing, and supportive. But for us, and to be submissive, but for us to, as men, to get that, we need to do our part. It's not a one-sided thing, you know. And I think, when it comes to black women, white men, we're doing more of that than other people, and I think that's why we're having more success. Men are acting like Jerome from Martin with a paycheck from JJ from Good Times. We are not dating you. Okay. My dad paid our way 100%. Yeah. My dad did too. He paid the 100%. And you know what? There's always a way. If you want to, do your part as a man, no matter what situation you are in life, you can make it happen. You come to God and make it happen. My father was a teenager when I was born, and he took care of me. So if he can, I think all men can. And but he didn't run from his responsibility. And I would say probably because my grandfather wouldn't stand for it. And you know what? My dad's parents didn't give him no money, didn't help him out. No, that's your family. You take care of it. And you know what? He made it happen. And I've seen men do that. You know, it's a rarity, but it does happen. A lot of guys will run from their responsibility. We see it all the time. That's why society is so jacked up.
Hey, Dad.
Yes.
I'm gonna step out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, son. Sorry, my son just step out a minute. He's just telling me. But seriously, guys, we are the power couple. You know why? Because when we come together, we already been vetted, we've already been shamed, we've already been told our relationships ain't going to work. And when we get to that point, we're fed up. We're not listening to the world. We're going for what we want. We're going what's best for us. And when we get to that point, and then we fall in love, the sky's the limit. There's nothing we can't do, you know. And we will lead the way when it comes to relationships. We will lead the way when it comes to marriage. We will lead the way as long as we keep doing what we're doing and vet, do it strategically. Because I'm not seeing our counterparts on the other end doing that. It's a lot easier for them to get together. It's a lot easier for them to date, even to marry. But they don't last like ours do. Maybe they should vet more. Maybe they should be more strategic. Just saying. And I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying. Because the stats reveal truth. If you look, we can take one case and say it's this way, or we can run the numbers. We could do it statistically and get more of an idea what's really going on when it comes to interracial marriages. When it's black women, white men, look at the stats, and then look at the propaganda. Which is more true? You can't say all. You can't say they're all that way or this way, but look at the stats. Look where the numbers are. Look at how many marriages are successful in this group compared to that group, and you get more of the truth. Now, marriage success depends on the two individuals. Okay, that's the bottom line. Their choices in life and how they go about, getting in the relationship, how they go about marriage. That's what's going to breed success or failure. It's the choices. But if you look at the numbers interracially, you can see what groups are successful and why. And if you dig deep into it, you'll know. People ask me, how did you and your wife marriage last so long? You know what I tell them? Because we love each other. Why? Because we love each other more than our problems. Why? Because we love each other more than society. Why? We love each other more than our family members. We love each other more than our friends. That's how it works. Because our family is the most important. The most important person in my family is my wife. Nobody is above my wife. Period. End of story. And she feels that way about me. That's how it works. You know? And I think that's right. Yeah. Black women and white men take marriage seriously. We do. We do so much. And I tell you guys, and sometimes people don't believe me. And black women sometimes don't believe. And it drives me crazy when I say, yes, us white guys do love you. There are so many of us out here that love you, period. We want to be with you. You're our preference. We want to be with you more than anybody. We don't want no other love. And some say, well, you're that way, and a few. No, it's more than that. You know, but there are barriers and there are stigmas and there are confusion. And a lot of times we don't get together because of confusion. A lot of relationships don't happen because the white guy will look at the black woman and maybe smile at her, but he's slow on the approach. He's too cautious, and she thinks he don't care about her because he hadn't even made his move, and she thinks he's weird because he just sits back, looks at her, and smiles. Then he's like, he don't want to go in because he don't want to think she's fetishizing him. He don't want to offend her, and then before you know it, nothing happens. Bam. And you know what? The haters got something going. They know how to slow things down. They can't stop everybody, and they ain't going to stop it. The numbers are going to increase, and we're starting to see success. And us as white men are starting to see the beauty and success of black women, and we want a part of it. There's more of us that love black women. And I'm not talking about the physical or the beauty. I'm talking about loving them from the heart, from the inside and out. Because we see the special things that black women do. I fell in love with black women at 5 years old because I seen love. I felt it. And you can't tell me when you're a little kid and you don't feel love and you don't cling to a certain group of women that ain't true love. And I wasn't thinking about how she looked or none of that boyfriend girlfriend stuff or intimacy. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking that there was true love and I felt it. There was something there. And there's been something there my whole life and I've seen it. And the reason I tell you guys this, because I know I see the truth. And so many men see it, but they won't say it. And if every white man out there or men of another race would come out and tell you the truth, what they feel about black women, YouTube would be flooded with guys like me. But most men are just living their lives and they're just being private. They don't want to even talk to anybody about it. And that's fine. You can do that. But I want to tell you the truth because I've been blessed. And if you're in an interracial relationship and you love that person, get to know that person, give it a shot, give it a chance. Because you could be missing out on the person that really loves you. You could be throwing away your blessing on what some idiot thinks life is about. Some idiot that thinks that you got to be with someone your own skin tone. Some idiot that thinks that you can't love someone that don't look like you. I mean, don't buy into it, guys. Go where your heart is. Go to that person that treats you right, that celebrates you. Go to that person that tells you they love you instead of telling you how you can be better. Go to that person that says, just come to the table because I love you, instead of that person that says you need to bring this to the table. Go for that. And these dating coaches out there, they're not telling you nothing. They're not helping you. Not when they're telling you what all you need to do and this and that. Women, you shouldn't even bring nothing to the table except 3 things. Love, you got to love the person you're with. You got to be loyal, be faithful, and just be your beautiful self. That's it. That is all a woman should have to bring. And man, we need to bring more than we're bringing. We need to bring our love, our loyalty also. But we need to put in the work. We need to go to work. We need to have a job. We need to have income. We got to have a way to provide for the woman we love and provide for the family that's going to come as a product of that love. And we got to love our wives like Christ loved the church. And with that, 9 times out of 10, the wife you're with is going to love you and she's going to submit to you and not even realize she's doing it. But, we're the closest thing getting to that. And that's why we're the power couple. It's put on our shoulders. We're putting the work. And I tell you, even with my wife, I got to watch what she's doing because she puts me first so much that she don't even think about what she wants. And I do that too. I put her first, but we kind of check each other like, wait a minute. Okay, what do you want? My wife tells me that too. But we're putting 100 in, 100, 100, 100. Oh, I got to put this up there. Okay, Michael Ray says, I was 3 or 4 at the county fair when a little black girl ran up and hugged and kissed me, took me by the hand, her parents freaked out. That's a neat story. That's awesome. You know what? That's happening today. You know what? We're finding love interracially. You know, and I tell you, I've grown up loving black women when I was a boy, and I still love them now. Always will. You know, and that's another reason my marriage lasted because my wife's everything. You know, like I said, I'm on this trip and I can't wait to get next to her. I can't wait to just hug her. I can't wait to just cling to her. And there's times I come home from work, I get in the shower, get out of the shower, we wrap up in a blanket. We'll go out in the back porch, we'll look at the lights from the city, or we'll just watch TV or just but there's not a time in the day that I don't tell my wife I love her. There's not a time I'm not hugging her, you know? And it's not that I look at it and say, okay, I need to hug her now. I need to do this. I need to tell her. No, I just do it because I want to do it. And I don't even sleep good. That's probably why I'm tired because my wife's not here. Because I'm so used to having her next to me. And, when I sleep, I hug my wife. I do. And I sleep good that way. I'm just so used to it. And sometimes she'll wake me up. Hey, you need to hug me. I just, but that's what we got going. And like I said, we have a blessing. We're the power couple. And you know what, guys? Cling to that. Embrace that. You know, submission is very natural. King Solomon for your situation. Okay, what's this King Solomon stuff? For your situation, she needs to be Pam Grier with Paula Dean cooking and sassy attitude of Taraji J. Henson and power. Oh man, that's a heck of a combination. Single vortex. Yeah, that would be the ultimate woman there. You put all that together. Oh, sorry. Hello? Yeah. No, I didn't. I'm still alive. Okay, I'm right here. Are you outside? Okay. Can you get in? Okay, I'll be right there. All right. All right. Bye. Oh, hey guys. Sorry, I'm gonna have to shorten this. My son got locked out. The key card ain't working. These I don't know. His ain't working. He got locked out, so I'm gonna have to close down this line. All right. But anyway, guys, I love you guys, and I'll be live tomorrow, and we'll continue this. But we'll do the power couple part 2. But we are the power couple. We are the ones that make it happen. And our relationships are lasting because of that. You know. But anyway, do you guys want me to close that out or go let him in and come back? Yeah, let me close it out. Sorry. Okay, guys, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll be going live. You guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you again. We'll talk more about the power couple. Maybe I can find some videos or something I can show you guys. Um, Good night, you guys. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you and your families, and thanks for joining me on my live on my trip with my son. All right. Good night and God bless everyone.